Welcome back. You're watching Morning Live. Now, the 26th of December will mark the 15th celebration of the annual Kwanzaa Afrikan holiday festival under the theme Breaking Barriers, Building Bridges. This year's opening ceremony will be held at the Constitutional Hill in Johannesburg and will see the promotion of unification of all African black people, regardless of faith, nationality, background, ideology, language, and birthplace. Now, Baba Buntu he's no stranger to Morning Live, is the executive director at Ubukosini Solutions, and he joins me now to talk about the festival this year. Baba, thank you very much for joining us. Always a pleasure seeing you. Let's talk quickly about the pre-launch that happened yesterday, just to kind of set the theme for what's happening on the 26th.
Yes, thank you so much. So we have been doing Kwanzaa for 15 years now in South Africa. So we are quite proud of that. It hasn't been an easy road, but we are here and we are very proud of the achievements that we have made along the way. So yesterday we had a pre-launch at Prelaunch in Johannesburg, just to make people aware. And there's a number of people who have misconceptions about Kwanzaa or might not know about it altogether. So it was a way to also explain what this is about, what is its significance, and especially how does it link to this country.
And maybe it's quite a pertinent question to then ask, to not only reflect on the 15 years, but in the fact that we also just celebrated our 20 years of our Constitution. We've just reflected, it's a Human Rights Commission turned 20 last year. So it was quite a big year to reflect your 15 years in.
That's true. But as you can see through our choice of theme, which is breaking barriers, building bridges, I think we also want to reflect on what this year has meant, because I think there's many positives that we can draw from this year, but I think there's also some alarming facts. For instance, the fact that we heard new voices and new voices were given space. The feast must fall, the rose must fall, the fallist movements were much prevalent in the news space. But at the same time, it also seems like the liberation politics has now become talk only. And I think what we learned this year is that when young people speak up for justice and truth, they can be victims to violence. They can be taken to jail for that. And that's quite an alarming message for young people who want to actually see a country that is going forward. So I think we also want to reflect on that as much as it is a celebration.
Let's quickly, maybe not to be funny, but to ask you the practical examples of some of the barriers and some of the bridges.
Sure. No, it's a very good question. I think we have a number of barriers, but I think maybe two that I can point out quickly. The economy of the country. I think a lot of people feel outside of the economy. They don't feel like they are part of the drivers of the economy, and they don't know how to get in, and they feel blocked away from it altogether. Issues are related to land, issues related to culture, issues related to identity even. A lot of people feel that they don't know how to get a very sound and grounded identity as African people. And it's not because they don't try, it's not because they don't want to, but they have to strive so much to understand the history of this continent. They have to work so hard to be proud, to walk tall as a black woman,
and
as a black man.
And also work their way through a very skewed narrative.
Exactly, a very skewed narrative. So you have to work so much, and you feel that the information that you so desperately want is not really available. You have to work so hard to get it. So I think that's definitely is an aspect of the barriers. In terms of the bridges, I think we have positioned this Kwanzaa celebration this year also to be an opportunity, because it's good that we complain. It's good that we put the problem very, very clearly and unapologetically on the table. But at the same time, we cannot sit and wait for it to be resolved. I think what we must have learned is that these problems are not just small. They're not just going to go away because we talk about them. We need to do something about it. So building bridges has to do, for instance, to link ourselves to our culture, to understand our history, to stand up and demand justice for our people, to say that we are in 2016 now, we wish we were much further, and we can actually push those boundaries to get to that place. So that's a bridge that we can build. That's what we want to inspire young people to do as well, not just to sit still and just accept the status quo, but actually be change makers in their own rights.
Now, for those, you said there were some new faces at the pre-launch. For those that have never been to a Kwanzaa experience, what are they going to experience on the 26th? And then, I don't know if it's maybe necessarily linked, but will it reflect Reconciliation Day?
Okay. No, it's not necessarily linked to that. Kwanzaa is actually modernized version of the indigenous harvest festivals that we have celebrated on this continent for thousands of years. It's important to say that because some people say, but it's a new festival, I've never heard of this, I don't know where this comes from. So it actually comes from right here in Azania, in South Africa, on this continent. And we're just trying to develop it for the needs of these times, of these days. What they will experience when they come, the opening ceremony is on the 26th of December. And for me, what I normally say, why I like this and what it means to me is that I feel I get a peep into the African future that we so desperately want. Because you actually see African people uniting, being together. We have a children's program, we have a youth program, and we have a main program. And you see children of different nationalities, different language groups actually playing together and learning and being excited about this continent and wanting to be part of it. So you see young people doing the same, and you also see adults engaging with each other. And it's not a program where you just sit and watch something on stage. You actually take part. There's dialogues, there's food from different countries, there's discussions, there's indigenous games that you take part in. So it's really an experience. It's not something you just sit and watch.
Baba Buntu, we've run out of time. The Executive Director of Ibokosini Solutions talking to us about the Kwanzaa African Holiday Festival. It starts on the 26th of December and the 1st of January. If you want to find out more details, just Google the details, but go and experience it so that we can maybe change that narrative. Let's welcome our first music.